Well, welcome back to preview of week 4. This was reviewing week 3, and yeah, boys, how we doing?
By week it was boring, and there you go.
Wonderful.
Well, it wasn't boring for me, but we'll get to that.
I had to give up my ticket for a wedding for the game, so it was a.
You didn't play a real school. It's fine.
Yeah, I had to rewatch the game after.
Yeah, Michigan played a football game. We'll get to it in a minute, but we can do. I don't know. How do we want to start?
Let's just go through some of the games, score wise.
Yeah.
Notre Dame beat Purdue 66-7.
Now this I thought was a glitch.
Yeah,
I thought it was a legit glitch.
They scored like 42 points in the first half.
Dude, this game was on at 3:30, and I just remember walking by a tailgate in Columbia, and I looked at the scoreboard, and I was just like, what is going on, man?
I think they've done this every year, right? Where they lose a bad game, then they kill someone, and then they lose another one. So Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they lose to Miami, Ohio, oh, man.
Well, he's done it before.
He has.
I think it was home teams favored by 20 or more have lost like 7 times in the last 15 years. No, more than that. But it was some crazy stat where like Notre Dame was number 1 by a lot, and it was all Freeman. So,
yeah, I mean, a lot of blowouts this week. There's not like any really. There's a couple interesting scores, but Nebraska 34-3 over Northern Iowa. Illinois.
Quick on that.
Yeah.
Do we think it's weird that he's fake Mahomes?
Yeah, I think it's terrible.
Yes.
I think he needs to be his own personality.
Yep.
I think if he acted like him, it'd be fine. But like doing the mannerisms and the hair and stuff's kind of nuts. And now he's trying to say this is the hair he's always had.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's getting weirdly close, weirdly similar.
The guy that had like 8 high schools and committed 4 times. Does if the Chiefs lose and Tua wins, does he get a tribal sleeve? I know Tua's dead, but bad example. But I'm trying to think of something funny. I was about to say, like, if if it's like Jared Goff, does he just like totally become boring? I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like until they lose, which they will lose eventually this year.
Great game this week.
We won't know how he reacts when they lose. This is also their first. They're going on the road this week, right?
No, they are at home. It's Friday night football.
But yeah, shout out to Ali Farouk Manesh. You always have to shout him out for Northern Iowa. I know it's college basketball, but you always got to shout him out. That dude's the hero.
Illinois 30-9 over Central Michigan. Minnesota 27-0 over Nevada. 38-21 Iowa over Troy. Well, Iowa looked real slow to start.
Caleb Johnson again. He was like plus 150 to score 2 touchdowns again. He's sneaky one of the best backs in the country, which is crazy.
Yeah. Their defense looked pretty suspect in the first half, but then they kind of figured it out the more the game went on. Northwestern 31-7 over Eastern Illinois. Maryland 27-13 over Virginia, and now we can kind of touch more on the bigger games of the week. First, we'll start off. We'll do the big games, and then we'll go to our games because I mean, your game is going to be the most funny one. Alabama 42-10 over Wisconsin. I watched that game. Wisconsin's quarterback Tyler Van Dyke out for pretty much the whole season.
The year now confirmed.
Yeah, so
like the second play.
Yeah, it was like a running away play, and he just got slammed out of bounds, and he's done.
Obviously, I went to another game, so I didn't see any of this game, and when we talk about it, you'll understand. I literally don't know anything that happened in this game at all, other than text messages that I got that go, "Wisconsin's terrible. They're done. Why did they go to air raid?"
Yeah, I mean, now they had a quarter. I mean, when they brought in the backup quarterback, they could not move the ball once. They did not have a very good sustained drive for pretty much the entire game.
Like one broken play to Pauling, and that was about it. But
yeah, they literally they did the Iowa of last year where they just handed it off the ball twice and then tried to throw a stupid pass.
He's not putting up crazy stats, but he's wicked efficient. 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 75 yards in the ground, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 tutties against a Big Ten team. I know it's Wisconsin; they suck, but on the Big Ten on the road, this is. I mean, what Saban? I think they said went on the road out of conference like 3 times in his career, and he lost one. So,
but yeah, I mean, realistically, that's one more team in the Big Ten that went from pretty much locking up potential bowl game this year to now probably falling down a few steps. That
they're toast.
Brock mentioned. Brock asked Cozzi on Twitter.
They're toast. They're done.
I think they're done.
They're if they win 4 games this year, it's probably going to be a success.
And this might be like a not hot seat for Fickle, but like they need to have serious discussions
on this offense. Yeah,
this totally did not work.
10 points on an air raid offense. That's never sustainable.
Hey, and guess what? They get a bye and then go out west to USC. So
and it's under 200 yards receiving. Yeah, if you don't.
Yeah. Oregon. I mean, start to finish dominated this game. They played Oregon State. They won 49-14.
Oregon State moved the ball in the first half, but that was about it.
I was so ready for the opening drive when Oregon State started going down the field, and I'm just like, here we go, Oregon State.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel played. I think the stat line was like, what, 10 for 10 or 11 for 11 or something close to that. He was not missing in the first half, and it just kept going and going and going. And I just felt like there was not really much of a chance. I kind of went back and watched some more clips of it, and I mean, they looked a lot better this week. They most definitely did.
This is what people really saw in preseason or hyping up.
Yeah,
it kind of showed out this week. How good is Oregon State? I mean, when you have a reject Michigan guy as like your best receiver,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to say. There's not really much else in that one. And then, I mean, the one game I was probably following the closest of the afternoon was the Apple Cup. The Apple Cup was absolutely phenomenal. It was a great game. Washington falls to Washington State, 24-19.
Man, you just hate to see it. Couldn't happen to a better group of people than the Huskies, who are still talking about Michigan every time. Talking about how receivers don't develop when the current leader in pass yards is a Michigan player in the NFL. I get it. It's fine. He's got more yards than all 3 of your first-round picks combined. I don't care. Okay? You lost. Ha, ha, ha. You ran a speed option with Will Rogers with the game on the line. The coaching malpractice in this game from Jed Fish. He might have coached himself out of the game or out of a Florida job offer potentially, but man, you just hate to see it.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm going to say is I am making sure you never meet Dubs.
That's fine. I'm not even talking to him. We all know who I'm talking about.
I think everybody in the country knows who you're talking about.
Eat it.
So yeah, I mean, that game was just absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, the ending was very, very, very questionable. And then if we move on, Indiana might be a good team, might be pretty good. 42-13 over UCLA.
I mean, might be a good team. They look outstanding.
Yeah,
I think it's more of who they played, but
yeah. I think UCLA might be probably
in a vacuum. It's a road Big Ten win.
Yeah,
that you were a 3-point favorite and you won by 50.
I don't want to jump ahead too much, but on October 19th, Indiana goes to Nebraska.
Not even that. You want a pulse check? Michigan fans are worried about at Indiana. By the way, that's your pulse check.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. We host Indiana the week before you guys come to Columbus.
Ooh. Normally it's Maryland is giving one of us a scare. There you go.
I know.
Is Indiana the new Maryland? Which is not a bad thing, especially for a basketball school.
I can tell you the year we won the national title, Indiana led us in the fourth quarter that year.
Bro, some kids I'm sure would sacrifice their firstborn child in Indiana to go 8-4. So I think they're all right.
They might have the stands filled for the entire game now.
Yeah.
The student section isn't leaving anymore. They might be there the entire game. They might even be staying for the fight song.
Are they the best team with the red and white pinstripe pants? It's a good question. Wisco's looking bad. Who knows?
Yeah. We're gonna see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what else do we got?
And you go ahead, Zach.
I think that's all of them. Yeah. So we played Prairie View A&M. We won 40-0. Aiden Childs played probably his best game of the year. Understandably so. 12 for 19, 173 yards, one passing touchdown, one rushing touchdown. Yeah, I mean, looked pretty good. Defensively, I mean, shout out to Chuck Brantley, longest pick six in school history, 104 yards realistically, but they called it 100 yards. So that was a pretty cool thing. Defensively looked really good. Had a couple sacks, couple rushes. Got to see my boy Tommy Schuster. Shout out Tommy. Watched him play when I just graduated high school, and he was at Chippewa Valley, and it's pretty cool that he had all these options to where, I mean, he has tons of school records at North Dakota, and he could have went anywhere, and he just wanted to come home just to be at home and finally get to play in a Big Ten school. Finally got to see some action. Yeah, and that was pretty cool. He actually had a rushing touchdown, which was like a run yard up the middle. But yeah, I mean, got to see some depth players play. Unfortunately, had one more probably season-ending injury on the offensive line. But again, I mean, there was nothing that crazy about the game. I mean, defensively, we stopped them, stopped the turnovers. No turnovers this week. The only issue we still have is penalties. We can't get away from the penalty bug. 100 yards a game of penalties is going to hurt us eventually. And if we can get that toned down, even cut in half, I think we'll be in much better shape. But yeah, the penalties are the biggest killer right now. So, yeah, Blake, go ahead with your Arkansas State game.
So again, this game was very interesting because it appears as though it was a close game. It very much wasn't. Anyone that was watching the game knows it wasn't. If you were dumb enough to bet on Michigan, unlike our good friend here, Zack, sorry that you lost your money. But I mean, it was 28-3 with 6 minutes left in the game. And again, if you were watching this game for gambling purposes, there was two of the worst personal fouls you've ever seen in your entire life that they called on 4th and down that were both turnovers. But whatever. By that point, it was already over. They were able to move the ball a little bit on me, which I did not appreciate on a few drives. Because especially the drive at the end of the half, people would tell me that it was, a prevent drive, whatever. We had 2 doinks though. So, as much as you can take away the 2 garbage time touchdowns, in theory, you're not going to get 2 doinks in one game. But it was what it was. Davis Warren, I don't know why everyone hates on Davis Warren. He was, he didn't throw an incompletion, had 150 yards. It is what it is. There is a caveat that 3 of the passes were to the other team. Bit of an issue. But it was very funny. They had 0 incompletions. He's like the first Michigan player to have 0 incompletions since, wait for it, John O'Corn threw 3 picks. Very funny. Because he's getting a lot of comparisons to John O'Corn. Now, the 3 picks. 1, O-line didn't block. Not really his fault. Second one, a guy breathed on his arm, and he underthrew by 15 yards.
I don't even know who he was throwing the ball to.
So Fred Moore was wide open in the end zone. Not in the end zone, but like for an out route. Wide open. I was sitting behind him. He was going away from me. He was going from the south-north end zone. Dude is wide open. It's a great throw. I was like, let's go. I even started to go, yeah. Oh. It was one of those ones where like it looked fine. And it was almost like if it was like a drone. And like the battery just stopped and the ball just stopped and just went straight down. I was like, what the fuck? Well, okay, whatever. The third one, he threw into quadruple coverage to Samaj Morgan on a jump ball. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Samaj Morgan. I think he's 5'1". So that was certainly a choice. But yeah, offensively, we ran the ball 40 times for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yes, it's Arkansas State. You just got to get that caveat in there beforehand. Khalil Mullings and Donovan Edwards both had 15-plus carries. Khalil had double the production. He had 2 touchdowns and 153 yards. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. He's now at 8 yards a carry in the season, I believe. Even against Texas, he was averaging like 5 yards a carry. But, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. The backup running back's better. But the story is, of course, actually not that. We'll start with something more important. Loveland got hurt in the first half. Then
it was really weird.
Caught a pass and then went to the locker room again. They said he was no update. and then 10 minutes later they said he was fine, and now they're saying there's no update again. So I picked up a fantasy tight end, and I have Colson in all 3 of my leagues. So do with that information what you will. If he doesn't play, the season's over. If he opts out and takes the year off, JS ends it. I don't blame him. But yeah. So the other thing is, so your quarterback threw 3 picks. What does that mean? Alexander Orji is now back in the game. He came in actually great in the little bit that he did. For a while there, before he threw his last incompletion, for the season, he was, I believe, what the stat was after his first 2 full drives. His season stat line was he was 2 for 3 for, I think, 6 yards and 2 touchdowns.
2 dump bombs.
Efficiently, probably the best quarterback season we've ever seen. 66% of his passes were touchdowns. Can't beat that. Yards per attempt, I think like 4. He did have a deep ball wide open to Fred Moore that Fred Moore kind of gave up on, but it was also uncatchable at the same time because Fred Moore got in trouble for overrunning a ball in week 1 and not fighting back for it. It was a thing. Both guys were wrong and both guys were right. It was no one's fault. It's a no fault situation. The authorities came in and ruled no fault. But they already named Orji the starter, which is certainly something. They told the media before the players, which is also, again, certainly something. This whole thing's weird. And they talked about how all offseason, it did make sense when you rationalize the fact that all offseason they wanted Orji to be the guy. They were begging him to take the job, and he couldn't. He threw it away literally in practice. And they're like, look, the whole reason we're not doing it is because of turnovers. And we need to make sure that we have ball security and no turnovers. And your quarterback's thrown 5 picks in 3 games to 2 group of 5 teams. And not even Fresno's actually pretty good. That part I was right on. But Arkansas
Fresno's pretty good.
Arkansas State's fun. Fresno's beaten 2 teams by 50. All right, relax.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arkansas State is fun to watch. Their backup quarterback was sick. Timmy McCain, I think it is. This little lefty was just slinging it. Okay,
he was going all over the place.
Dude, his stat line: 7 for 11, 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. All right, and he had 15 yards on the ground.
They should have started him. They would have had a chance.
Dude was slinging it. Well, Jaden Raynor's actually cool too, but this little Timmy McCain kid, I want him at a MAC school next year. Like, get him as like the quarterback at like Ohio or like Ball State. And you're like, who's this little like 5'8" dual threat lefty? We'll know. Ball knowers will know.
Yeah.
And I think he was putting some stuff on tape because he was making some damn good plays. This says Malik Hornsby was a rusher. I know that name. Sorry, that's something else. But yeah, overall, Mullings is the best running back on the team. Kind of known that for a bit. Orji is going to start. I don't know if we want to hop into next week's preview, kind of parlays, and I'll do a quick one. But like, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with next week because it's literally no one knows. Like, if anyone tells you what's going to happen in this game, they have no idea. Yeah. Again, I think legitimately speaking, this is not hyperbole, I'm being honest here. Alex Orji is either going to be Jeff Sims at Nebraska or he's going to be like Cam Newton or Denard Robinson. There's no in between in my mind. Like, he's either going to be like a Heisman candidate in this game only, okay, or he's going to have like one of the worst comically bad games you've ever seen in your life, and it's going to be like some great clips going down the line. He's going to have 3 touchdowns or 3 turnovers, and I seriously don't think there's an in between. Like, that's how chaotic this dude is. Because he comes in, he's a big motherfucker. He is fast. He's got 0 touch, and that's the problem. But against this USC front, him and Mullings, 40, 50 carries. I'm not kidding, 40 or 50 carries. It'll eventually wear him down. Will it be too late? Will they already be down 20 and you can't really do it that well? Who knows? But that's why we play the games, and I'm even more excited for this game than I was excited for the Texas game. I don't know if it makes any sense, but we'll go into a deep dive from there. Only other takeaway I have from the weekend is Tennessee is one of the best teams I've ever seen, and and Kansas State sucks. But other than that, I think we can give Cozzi the floor for trips with Cozzi.
Yeah, we can do trips with Cozzi, and then we'll move on to week.
Let's see. Let's put it this way: the trip to Columbia was fun. It's a long drive down there. This game had everything you could imagine. There was beginning of the game, South Carolina scored a touchdown. Second play of the game, Nussmeier throws a pick 6, and the place is just rocking. And then they go horse collar, bring it back. And it was such a weak horse collar call that it was like, are you kidding me? And then LSU just looked like they were kind of lost. Then you even had like the next drive, South Carolina threw a pick, and where I was sitting was 50-yard line, great seats, upper level. It was a split LSU South Carolina area. There was a J.K. Dobbins Ohio State jersey sitting behind me, and also as I'm walking up the steps, a Michigan fan coming in with his quarter zip, like long sleeve Michigan jacket on, and I'm just like, dude, it is like 85 degrees.
Can you imagine the weather forecast came in with how that guy would be feeling?
Yeah, I know. That guy would have been fine. But except it was 85 and sunny with no rain. Like the rain held off and everything. It was like anything that we did not expect. And then, I mean, then you had a blocked punt in this game that was taken back. Then you had right at the end of the half, LSU scored a touchdown to cut the lead to 24-16. I mean, this game was a 24-7, like just absolute. I think it might have been 24-10 at the worst, but I mean, this game was. I mean, it was 17-0 at one point. It looked like South Carolina was going to run away with this game, and then Lenoris gets hurt, and then it's like they can't move the ball, and LSU just keeps chipping away, and then they take the lead. And I mean, they took the lead early fourth quarter, and it was like, oh boy, what is going to happen? And then Sanders just breaks one up the middle. I mean, this game had everything. It had your long 75-yard touchdown run. It had LSU down to the wire. Just get ready, like scores with like a minute left. Now, I will say this. Sandstorm, I mean, after this road trip, I'm forever probably a 2B team. South Carolina is my SEC team now. Like, I'm all in on Sandstorm. It was an awesome environment. People were great. Oh, it lives up to the hype. I mean, especially when, like, I'm sure you guys saw some of the videos on Snapchat. Like, everybody has a towel in their hand, and they are just like, and it's like every beat, they all throw the towels up, and it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And then you just start waving it. Now, I will say this. South Carolina students, they call it the cockpit where their student section is. They all started, because they're like Georgia, they have between the hedges. Well, They all start forming towards the sidelines with about a minute 45 left. And I'm just like, LSU's driving, and I'm just like, oh,
college
no.
kids, man.
No, don't do this. And then and LSU scores like 4 plays later. And then it's like, here comes South Carolina driving towards where all these students are like ready to like rush the field. And they have like this 56-yard field goal attempt. And I'm not going to lie, from our vantage point, we couldn't see it. But LSU called a timeout. Huh?
It was close, man.
Well, here's the thing. LSU called a timeout, and they attempted the field goal, and I thought they made it. I'm pretty sure he made the first one and missed the second one, and it was close. And I'll say this. The people down there did not expect to win. It was definitely Southern hospitality. But the one main thing is, in that stadium, and I don't know if it's like this in all SEC stadiums, there was no scoreboard anywhere in that stadium to show other scores around the country. None. I saw in the middle of the third quarter, they took a 10-minute break, or like a under 10 timeout TV break. They came across the scoreboard, showed like 2 Alabama highlights, and that was it. And then they put the scores up on the scoreboard. That's it. I didn't know what was happening. I was like in a secluded like bubble. And I'm not going to lie, with the way the game was, it felt like I was watching a game for like 6 hours. And it's not like it was just super entertaining. Loved every second of it. Forever, go Cox.
Yeah, that's sweet.
They had this little ribbon at Tennessee where it's like one of those fake scoreboards, like at a basketball game where it's like a little ribbon one, and it'll have like scores on that. That's all I remember. Actually, that was Penn State. I don't even remember if Neyland does it. They did the same thing with you.
I was gonna say there's a lot of
SEC update. Oh, Alabama just beat Prairie View A&M. It's like, all right, sick. But
yeah, if we're just going through, I mean, we could just run through this real quick. Kansas State dominates Arizona 31-7. It wasn't even close. I don't even know what
I told you the Wildcats were going to win. I bet my life on it.
Ole Miss dominates again. Jackson Dart has double the passing yards as every quarterback in college football right now.
More importantly, they beat him so bad they canceled the away series. Did you see that tweet?
Yeah, they did.
They canceled the other half of the home and home.
And you know who picked it up? Oregon State. They announced it today.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they picked it up today.
In the Grove, baby. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's funny. Missouri 27-21 over Boston College. This was a pretty good game. I watched a little bit of that. Tennessee 71-0. They scored what? 37 points in the first quarter.
Can I just say this? You should be ashamed of yourself, Tennessee.
Why?
Onside kick up 30.
No. They didn't do it right. They didn't do it. It was a Pat McAfee onside kick where they had two guys in the front instead of like four they normally do. It was like, I even was like, why are they so far back? And the guy just squibbed it. It was the easiest. It wasn't even a contested. The guy almost returned it. On the guy catching almost returned it. Trust me, it was there. The headline did him dirty. It was there. But
yeah,
Nico, I'm already worried about whatever NFL team he goes to. Like, there's like the Panthers fans are talking about tanking for 2 years for Nico. That's where we're at right now. Like, he is unbelievable. And I said this earlier. Dylan Sampson is the best running back in the country, and he's getting zero love because people think Tennessee's this TikTok, throw it all over the field offense. Their RPO game is crazy because their running back can average 5 yards on the ground, and they can sling it wide. Their game this week is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah. And then the weirdest game, the most unexpected thing I've ever – I mean, realistically, the most unexpected thing. I never saw this happening. Georgia beats Kentucky 13-12 in an absolute mess of a game. Nothing worked for Georgia. They had zero offensive production for most of the game. It was 6-3 at halftime. They were losing. They went down 6-9, and then they scored one touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, it was just one of the messiest games I've seen.
I did get to watch some of this game. I'm going to tell you what, Kentucky literally had so many chances.
That's my part.
So many chances.
There's a reason why the odds swung into Texas's favor in the SEC. That Georgia looked lost on defense.
I mean, they had so many chances. I mean, look, you had Georgia on the ropes too. You were up 3-0 and you were driving, and then you fumble it. And it's like, come on, guys, put it together. I mean,
they were begging. Georgia was begging to lose. Like,
yeah.
You had one play going your way, and you were fine. Granted, their kicker is automatic. The fact that there needs to be a larger discussion about this. We might have to do something with kicking. We have college kickers that are like no doubt making 50-yarders now. What the hell is going on? We have NFL kickers lining up from their own half, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we can. I mean, that's pretty much all the games from this week. I would say that we really need to touch on.
Anything else?
Well, hold on. There is one thing that we should probably say. We do have a new number one in the country.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, we do. Texas is now the number one team in the country. I mean, rightfully so.
And
controversy.
And
they have a quarterback issue.
They don't, but Arch might be that good.
Yeah, I know. And I think most importantly, we have a new conference.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do have a new conference. The Pac-12 hasn't returned. They've added some teams. We'll touch more on that officially when they finalize their
when they finalize.
Hey, state legislature of Nevada, let fucking UNLV join.
Yeah.
God damn it. No one likes the Wolfpack.
Yeah. So
speaking of them, they had a hell of a win on Friday.
Woo-wee. Yeah. So we'll talk more about that when it's finalized. I mean, we're still so early on it. So yeah, we'll touch into this
baby. It'd be very funny though if we end up in the exact same spot we were before, where they break the ACC charter to get Stanford and Cal, and then the ACC dissolves, and then it's the ACC2 or something.
Yeah.
It'd be very funny.
ACC is not dissolving. They'll add more teams. They'll somehow stick it together.
That's the thing is the Pac-12 geologically never should have broken down. Okay? The ACC makes no sense. Okay,
Yeah.
they need to die, or the Big 12 needs to split in half.
And you know whose problem that is? And you know who's caused this whole thing?
Not ours.
ESPN, Texas and Oklahoma.
No,
Greg Sankey.
us. We did this.
Oh, Greg Sankey did this.
We didn't do anything. Okay.
We added more teams because the SEC, what's it called? They went over Fox's head, the SEC, and added Oklahoma and Texas, and that's why I lost at home as opposed to me being in Austin losing. Okay.
So yeah, we can touch on next week. The big one on Friday, like we kind of already said, Nebraska, Illinois. Big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. It's one of the biggest.
This is actually a top 25 matchup.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me at the end of last season that this would have been a top 25 matchup, I would have laughed at you in the face.
I just find it funny because now this is going to sound very bad, and Cozzi is going to laugh. Now that I'm this low in the rankings, the fact that these teams are even near me is hilarious. Like the skill gap between us and Illinois and Nevada and Nebraska, same thing. Give me a break. Give me a break. Oh my God.
I'm going to purposely send Nebraska fans to this podcast after that.
Nebraska is one team better than Clemson. Can you get a grip?
I don't know. After the top 15, it's a big just who can we throw in here?
Freaking my high school last week, and we played Texas. The number one team in the country, looks like a wagon. Give me a break. We should move up because of how good Texas was.
And you only lost by 20 points.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens this week. So
yep. Moving down the noon slate. Marshall travels to Ohio Stadium.
I'll go. Just get out of this game with no injuries and then move on to Sparty. I mean, look, AD Turner's good. I just want to see how good our run defense is. Offensively, obviously, everyone knows what we're about. Defensively, I think everyone knows what we're about. I am just going to sit back and enjoy every single snap because it's just awesome.
Enjoy these games where you murder people because you never know when it's gone. That being said, their coach is awesome.
Yeah, he said he was going to try to steal players with unlimited biscuits. That's awesome.
Budget of unlimited biscuits. That might work. Watch out if Marshall's got the best trenches in the country next year. You'll never know. Their O-line, man. Hold on.
Yeah, they got a great running back.
They already have a pretty decent O-line. So they do have a great running back in AJ Turner. So, I mean, look, he has been tearing it up. We're going to find out what he's actually made of, though. I mean, look, they've already had a pretty decent game against Virginia Tech. Dude literally only had 6 carries and had 103 yards in that game.
Yeah, and then the next
game,
you,
Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt. But hey, look. Ohio State's moving up. They're the 120th ranked schedule right now. I think they go up to 110 after this week, so we're moving.
I mean,
that's fair.
Hey, at least we're getting to Big Ten play. Thank God.
And then, the next game, Indiana-Charlotte. The spread's like 28.5 points. I'm kind of shocked that it's this low because I think Indiana will just absolutely
I think there's a letdown spot here. They could catch them, man.
Really?
Charlotte will keep it within the number because you got to think about it, dude. What do you think that plane ride was back from UCLA? Okay? Yeah. I know they're college athletes, man, but a hangover's a hangover.
Yeah. Villanova travels to Maryland at noon.
If this is on the hardwood, the Terps want no part of the Wildcats.
Hold on. The Terps want no part of the Wildcats. Villanova is going to win this game.
They have no spread. There's no spread. There's no spread. How do you?
Villanova is going to win this game.
FCS spreads come out, I think, like the morning of or day of.
Yes. Villanova is going to win this game.
Villanova's won the football game.
Yeah.
That'd be sick, man. Listen, the Villanova basketball fan, it'd be very fun if they won.
The Kent State team travels to.
Look, if this game's even close, Penn State just better stop playing max goals.
So look, Tennessee has a legit defense. I would like to think Penn State does as well. They're getting another start from me in fantasy. So if you Skells go out there and get negative points against a max school again, we're having words.
It might be, I mean, honestly, and I'm not trying to disrespect, but they might be the worst team in Division I football right now.
It's bad. And their whole team got hurt against Tennessee. I think it was legit like 10 injury timeouts.
Akron will beat Kent State by 2 to 3 touchdowns. I'm
nuts.
I'm very convinced
That doesn't happen in the MAC, but yes, they might be better. But
I don't know that Kent actually wins more than. I don't know if Kent wins a game.
Yeah,
I'm sure they have a free game coming up.
And this is funny. This is removed from like 3 years ago where Kent was almost going to win the MAC.
Well, they played Penn.
They lost everyone in the portal. That's the problem with the portal.
They played St. Francis, PA, and lost. Come on.
Yeah.
And IU is going to suck next week. So sorry, or next year. Sorry.
Yeah. So we got that. Moving on. That's at 3:30. We'll skip over this game for now. 3:30 UCLA at LSU.
Murder scene,
dude. That's rough.
Dude, you get beat at home to Indiana. You got to go to Death Valley, not in that noon.
Look, okay. I am still, after seeing them, I don't know what to make of them. But UCLA, if they could get any kind of running offense, they're going to be fine in this game because LSU can't stop the run.
They had like 40 yards against Indiana.
Yeah, they can't run the ball.
The leading rusher was like 13 carries or 40
yards.
Look,
I'm just going to say.
Sanders is a good guy. You go back.
Look, it's 24. I'll say this. LSU doesn't cover the 24 points. I don't think they're that good. I feel
like you're right. This will be a very public. LSU play UCLA. I'm going to put my mortgage on LSU 24.
Yep.
Sharp play. I like that.
Yeah. 3:30. Moving on. Rutgers travels to Lane Stadium to take on Virginia Tech.
We're definitely taking Rutgers, right? They're the underdog. How are they an underdog?
They beat them last year, I think.
They did.
I like this game. I really like this game.
And Rutgers is scoring points.
Yeah, it's weird that they're 3.5-point favorite. But
I thought Rutgers would come in the favorite. I mean, Virginia Tech. Look,
they looked rough week one.
They lost to Vandy. Now, that's all you need.
How did they lose to Vandy? Let me see.
They looked really bad week one.
I have the fantasy quarterback on my bench, and he had like 1 billion rush yards. So if they can't stop the run, you got Magana guy coming to town.
Yeah. This is interesting.
They played Marshall. You just told me that Marshall ran on him too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marshall. I mean, yeah.
And Callie Aikmanis, Gary's cousin's been looking pretty good. I'm supposed to be wrong. I said he's the worst quarterback in the Big Ten. Probably on my team. All right.
Let's put it this way. I can tell you that Marshall doesn't have much of a pass game, but they had 147 yards on 26 rush attempts. And yeah, I mean, that Marshall kind of kept it not close, but I mean, it was like, I want to say like 24-14 at the end of the third. So it's not a terrible game. I like Rutgers. I think Rutgers beats them straight up right at Lane Stadium.
You've been pretty good with the outright dogs. I'd be a dumb man not to tell you.
And then this game should be interesting. Northwestern travels to Washington. I think that's actually more intriguing now that we've seen Washington in a battle.
So this sucks because I predicted Northwestern to shock the world here, but it's just like last time. It was just like with the Purdue thing. You're not losing 2 games in a row.
Okay? Yeah, they're not. Look, I mean,
they got bullied in the trenches, man, by Wazoo.
I mean, Wazoo also has a great quarterback.
Yeah,
and if anyone can name the quarterback for Northwestern, you get a gold star.
I don't even know.
It's like I think.
Yeah. The big battle, the rivalry game. Minnesota.
Big Ten, Saturday night.
Yeah. Here comes Saturday night where Minnesota hosts Iowa, where Iowa is the 3-point favorite on the road. The over-under is 35.5 points.
I'm taking the under just like it happened last year in this game.
Yeah, I mean.
Will they know what a fair catch is in this game? People are asking.
I'm going to say Minnesota shocks some people and wins at home.
I'm not even. I don't even want to pick this game because it's going to be so bad.
I think Minnesota's going to win.
Caleb Johnson scores at least a touchdown again every week. I'm going to take it until they fix it. Okay, he's got 6 touchdowns in 3 games in Iowa. He's got 2 every game. You know how hard that is to do in Iowa?
Yeah.
Come on.
And then the nightcap, Purdue travels to Oregon State.
Oh my God, they're an underdog. Purdue's a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, they might. Might be really bad.
I mean,
man.
they just
I'm
lost
sorry,
66-7. So
I'm bad. I'm
To a
sorry,
running
but
quarterback who is not that much of a running quarterback. This McCoy kid, if you can get his rush yards over, I don't even know if they're going to give you it.
unfortunately, we can't bet player props on college
Oh,
in Ohio.
yeah, they got rid of it in your state. But when I go back to Michigan, I'll be looking at it hard and long and hard. Pause.
yeah. All right. 3:30. Go ahead, Blake.
So, I could give you this long and long rambling nonsensical, whatever you want to think about it, blah, 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 blah. This to me is the Texas game part 2, but their offensive line is significantly worse than Texas's. And if my idiot DC continues to do delayed blitzes against good quarterbacks, I don't know. Looking back at the game, they were blitzing the safeties in the corners from all the way back, not like running to the line and then running, right? They were just in their position. It would just okay, blitz. So you're going to give like one-on-one coverage to those elite skill athletes, and you're going to give time to guys like Quinn Ewers and now Miller Moss. I don't know. If you do that, we're in trouble. But I think you will be able to get a push with this four-man front. I think you'll be able to get some pressure for sure. LSU kind of had them moving a lot. They won that LSU game, but A, how good is LSU? B, they won ugly. They won really ugly. And if you get into an ugly game with Michigan, you are not winning. Okay, if this game is close in the fourth quarter, low scoring like it was, you're in trouble. That's Michigan's game. Limit possessions. They're in theory, Michigan is built to beat teams like USC. These quick offenses, 3 and out. Get them off the field quick. I don't know if Michigan's got a third down stop this year. That's like a serious thing. I literally barely remember the other team punting, unless they do something dumb. But like 3rd and longs are like easy for other teams to convert this year, and we've played some pretty bad teams, so that's very worrying. But I mean, this is a line in the sand game for a lot of things. Like if you lose this game, I wouldn't be shocked if guys start to opt out because it's like, dude, what are we doing? I would not blame them either. I want to get ahead of that. I would not blame them. Will I be mad and yell at them in person at the game? Yes. Will I be mad? Well, the same thing online or them in person? Of course not. But I think this game just is going to come down to, can Michigan execute on offense? Obviously, Davis Warren was running for his life and scared. The few times that Orgy came in, he's got a really cool thing of the pocket's broken. Okay, I'm just going to spawn over here. And he's like gone. He can extend plays, obviously, for as long as he wants. Can he hit those throws? Lord knows. I think he's a career now 50% passer in his like 8 passes he's thrown or 6 passes he's thrown. So he's pretty much right on brand with what he was in high school. So I'm, again, very excited. I don't know what to tell you. I have no lean either way. Other than the fact that I said, I think it's kind of like what Cozzi said. It's either going to be a blowout or it's going to be a close Michigan win. I think it's kind of the same here.
Same thing. Yeah.
I have a feeling that what's going to happen, regardless of the outcome, is, they beat an overrated Michigan or an overrated USC team. I think regardless of who wins this game. But I feel like there'll be more to Michigan. But if USC wins, the hype machine's out of control.
Yeah, I agree. If USC wins, and if USC wins in a blowout, they are going to be in the top 10, and they are going to be
top 5, dude.
They're going to be like bumped up very significantly. That's number one. But if Michigan wins, then you're back to, okay, the Big Ten is Ohio State, Michigan. Huh?
So Texas is really good, is what you
Texas is really good. And number 2, you're back to, it's Ohio State and Michigan in the Big Ten. Here we go again.
Yeah, it's a huge, huge, huge test for the coordinators and, more importantly, Sherrone Moore. If you go out there and you throw up a stinker and you have 5 bad game plans, I don't know what to tell you. I'll say 4 because last week was a fine game plan. If you just do that against them, you just got to keep running because the way these backs go and the way these teams work, it's a boxing match. You punch them in the spleen a bunch of times. Eventually, either one's going to connect or it's going to be, 3rd, 4th quarter, you got hands on hips and Michigan's still running it down your throat. Okay. And Orgy obviously has a complete wild card in this game. If I'm a neutral fan watching this game, or even a Michigan hater or a Big Ten fan, which I think both you qualify yourselves as, Michigan haters and Big Ten fans at the same time, which is a fine line to walk, it's going to be an incredible game to watch as a neutral fan. That's it, because I think I sneaky could see this game, both teams being in the 30s. I know that's probably crazy. I don't think it's that crazy, because I think USC's defense still isn't that good. Is it better? Yes. It's hard not to be better than what it was. And is LSU's defense better? Yes. It's hard not to be, right? So there's still a lot of things out here. I mean, Michigan's one of the few teams where you kind of know what they are based on who they've played. Yeah, I'm super excited for this game. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm really excited for this game. Either way, because if it sucks, Dusty May's got a hell of an operation going. But if it's good, everything's back in front of you. Like Michigan, and this is how I'd play this game. If you think Michigan's win this game, they are plus 750 to make the playoffs right now. If they win this game, it's going to be back to like half that. Because I don't think Oregon's as good as we thought they were going to be. Obviously, Ohio State's like a foregone conclusion. We're losing that game at this point. It is what it is. Like, let's be realistic. All right, circle of trust here, Michigan fans. Let's be realistic. And everyone's panicking. Everyone's nervous. If you win this game, everything's back. It's all the way back. We are all the way back if you win this game. And everyone's going to go back to talking smack. And a lot of people that have forgot their passwords will remember the captcha this week. So, and yes, I remember who has been active and who has not been this week. So, I think Zack can vouch for me. It's certainly a different crowd on the Twitter fan base landscape this week than it was last week.
Oh, this week was very interesting. There has been a lot of people that haven't been showing face, for sure.
So,
all right. Yeah,
go for it, Zack. Your game is awesome.
Yeah, so this should be.
I don't want to pull the steam out of your game. I said all year this game is going to rock. Did I think?
Yeah, this game should
be this good. No.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this is just our luck where we go into we're right before a gauntlet and we're playing an out-of-conference opponent, and they're playing like one of their best teams that they've ever had. Castellanos is, as long as we don't have a tragedy, Castellanos won't play out of his mind, if you get the reference. But yeah,
it's a bandana game,
man. Bandana game.
I don't know.
Statistically, I think they've played 10 so far, and I saw a stat. I think they're either 5-5 or 4-6 in the record all time.
Yeah, last year it was that game they kept really close against Florida State.
Yes.
Yeah. So it should be interesting. It's going to be weird seeing my team wear green, all green on the road, but the Boston College uniforms are going to be absolutely phenomenal. They're pretty good. I mean, the big thing is we just have to limit the big plays. Try to stay as much on offense. Try to dominate the time of possession. I think that's one of our biggest problems early in the year is that we're just doing quick drives. We need a long sustained drives to stay into this. Keep it kind of low scoring. I think the first team to, I would say, 24 points is going to win this game. BC coming off. I mean, this is a tough spot because they just went to an SEC place. They kept the game close, but at the same time, they're also probably pretty banged up. They played a really good Missouri team, so it's tough to say how they're going to come out, especially coming back home because they played, they dominated Florida State, which that's hard to judge off of what Florida State is because now they're 0-3, so it's like
you already lost a preseason win total in week 3.
Yeah, they're the first team. And they played Duquesne, and then they played Missouri. They lost that Missouri game, but now they're coming back home.
Come on,
or Duquesne, whatever. I don't know. It was 56-0.
That's a great tournament school.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a tough spot for them. I mean, we're coming off a high on an easy game. Going back on the road, can we travel and play on the road again? We're about 6-point underdogs, so it should be interesting to see. But yeah, if we keep it, if our defense keeps playing the way that they have with pressure and kind of everybody flying around, and we limit the injuries and the penalties this week, I think we still have a realistic shot. Castellanos is just such a threat, and it's so hard to say how productive he's going to be, especially after last week because he kept them in a lot of drives. So should be interesting to see. I think this is going to be a very exciting game. They screwed us over though because they put it on freaking ACC network. So now we have a game this week on ACC network, and then we have a game on Peacock And it's like, are we ever going to just play on a normal network so that people don't have to pay for it? So, and that's really screwy because we're playing Ohio. What?
Can you even watch ACC Network? I don't even know.
I don't think so.
I don't get it. I always try to watch it. And I can't because I try to watch cross games. And I could never get them.
Yeah. My I'm just going through Twitter and it's like people are freaking out, and then there's Ohio State people chiming in with Michigan State people that are saying, seriously, we're playing on the Peacock, and it's like, really, come on, like what are we doing here? So I don't know. It's just interesting to see how they schedule these games, and it makes me even more questioning what they're going to do, because basically most teams are going to play at least one game on Peacock, and who are they going to put next? You know what I mean? We're getting into conference play, so we're going to have more conference games on Peacock, and people are just
Michigan State's on Peacock like the Apple Cup was last week. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be terrible. They would be absolutely doing it wrong. I wonder how much money they would have to pay to put Ohio State and Michigan. It would probably be insane amounts of money. It'd probably be like billions.
Don't do this.
Fair though.
Don't do this.
That would be nuts.
One, it wouldn't be on Peacock, but two, they'd make a lot of money.
They would make so much money. That'd be dumb, stupid how much money they'd make.
If they're smart, they spread it out with the new teams, where they put the new teams on Peacock twice, more than 3 months apart, however long the free trial is, more than that apart.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean the Peacock thing it's nice, but also at the same time it's like
Fox has a lot of dumb things. Big Noon sucks, but they don't have a streaming service, so
yeah. So we'll see.
Imagine they put USC Michigan on Paramount Plus.
Ooh. Some other games we might want to look at.
For the record, I think Sparty is a live dog. They handled the mobile quarterback well in FAU. He was the only reason that game was closed because they were slide baiting. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Sparty, the slide bait. Run game travels, dude. And if you win 2 road games this early, everything's in front of the Spartans.
Yeah, if we start off 4-0, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities.
That's almost a win total cashed. Which is
and I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but we played Iowa close last year on the road. Having it at home, that's a great opportunity now to where Iowa hasn't. I mean, they look worse than last year. I think.
I'll say it for you. Yeah, you're looking good against. I mean, let's see how my team plays this week.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm worried about Indiana. That's what I am. I think everybody's worried about Indiana right now.
I think everyone.
Charles Woodson's a bad coach. Or Charles, what's his name? Woodson's a bad coach.
That's basketball.
They have a bad. Their zone doesn't really translate.
But yeah.
Football.
Yeah, I'm worried about Indiana. I think everybody is a little bit of worry because they're just. I mean, I don't know what they did. They just like flipped the script, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, if we want to touch on some games this week, Clemson,
NC State, Clemson.
Yeah.
They benched Micheal. Mason Micheal has been benched, bro. That's crazy.
I'm over NC State.
I am not, because NC State is the biggest thing out that's holding out the MAC in the playoffs, because NIU plays them next week. And if NIU pulls off the upset, they will be in the driver's seat to be in the playoff for the MAC. That being said, they will lose to Bowling Green in a snowstorm on a Wednesday by 30, and everything's gone.
Yep, pretty much. That's how it works for the MAC.
I will fight so hard in the MAC if they win that game.
NC State might cover that. I have no idea. It's a rivalry. They play for a trophy, which is actually kind of a pretty cool trophy.
Clemson's kind of turned around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really got much on that. But I'm
Florida,
looking
Mississippi State. Florida, Mississippi State's interesting because
stop.
No, we are not going over Florida, Mississippi State. No.
Mississippi State lost at home to a MAC school by 30. I don't know if anyone saw that. That kind of got lost.
This might add a Florida game.
Beat the hell out of Mississippi State.
This might be another opportunity for Florida.
Not only did they get the hell beat out of them, Toledo is more talented than Mississippi State.
It's crazy.
Is this the battle of which
they did the reverse Wisconsin. They went from the Mike Leach air raid to they need to switch.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's which coach is going to get fired first, because that's bad. That's bad.
This is probably the battle of who gets fired first.
Yeah.
Because you
That's
can't
exactly-
really fire the Mississippi State guy because of like he got the job because the coach died, but at the same time, you suck.
Yeah.
We got a big one at 4:00 though. That's a pretty big one.
Utah
and Oklahoma State. That's a pretty big one in the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean Oklahoma State. Gundy
so-
was, again, an all-time press conference. That guy is the best. He was talking about the scheduling and how they have to schedule. They schedule like 3 games in a row because I think it was, what was it? I don't know if they played Baylor. No, they didn't play Baylor. Baylor played somebody, but it was weird that like some of those games against the old Pac-12 teams weren't conference games. So Arizona State, Kansas State was not a conference game, and neither was Baylor and Utah, which is weird. I don't think Oklahoma State did anything, but no Cam Rising, and it's a 1-point spread. Weird. Our boy loves our Oklahoma State. Shout out.
Is
Luke.
Cam Rising not playing?
But no, I don't think so. Right?
No,
He said he might.
No, he's still hurt.
Well, shout out to Chap because he tweeted a great tweet the other day that Alan Bowman and Cam Rising will be facing off on Saturday.
They're like
Apparently
30
not.
years old or something.
The last time that they were on opposing sidelines was 2018 Texas Tech. In this time period since that game happened, Indianapolis Colts have had 11 different quarterbacks.
Rising was on Texas. That's unbelievable. Okay.
Well, and are you the combined age of them?
It could be a troll.
The
No.
combined age is actually 49.
Big Chap has never trolled once in this application.
But no, seriously, the combined age of them is 49 years old.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
older than starting quarterbacks.
Gundy was
in the
complaining
NFL.
about scheduling, and he's like, "I'm friends with the commissioner. I know he doesn't do the scheduling, but apparently I said the wrong box of hot peaches or hot pecans to him." I'm like, "What? What?"
There is a matchup in the NFL this week that I saw is a matchup of quarterbacks that are combined age 44.
Who do the Colts play?
I think that's who it is. It's the Colts, whoever they play. It's the combined age 44.
Yeah,
I can find out in 2 seconds. But
we got Boise. We got Boise this week. I mean, not Boise. Hawaii football at midnight. That's the best.
The Colts
play
play
my boys.
the Colts play the Bears.
There you go. Yep,
there it is.
Yeah.
My boys, listen to me. There is a fan base that has awoken. There's 2 of them. One is this fan base. The other one is this fan base. Let me tell you.
Oh, my gosh.
They're playing your boys.
The USF Bulls at home. Okay.
As 17-point underdogs.
They're a live dog. They could win this game outright. Okay.
Gosh.
They're a very one-dimensional team, they being Miami. And I'll tell you right now, they were playing very good to Alabama. Okay, that's not even a thing. I know they died at the end. It was a bad coaching decision. More importantly, Alex Golish, if he is not the first call that Florida makes when they fire Billy Napier, like realistic call. I was being told Lincoln Riley. Zach and I were both being told Lincoln Riley, and that was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
So funny.
Outside of that, he ran the Tennessee offense. He ran the UCF offense. He knows Florida in and out. He's got dudes at USF. He could bring them with him, 2 miles, 2 hours up north to Gainesville. And if you beat Miami, that fan base will love you before you're even there. I know it probably won't happen, but I have a feeling they will lose to Miami by less than Florida did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can agree with
Not
that.
saying much. But watch out for the Bulls.
Live dog. Again.
And last thing I could think of, we have an eat shit bet. Some guy, actually, no, it was even worse. He said he would take a 5-layer beefy burrito and put it where the sun does not shine if Kansas State loses to BYU. Listen, some people are saying if you make these promises and you don't do it, your team is cursed. Okay? A certain team has yet to win a game after he did not eat the shit.
Now, can we loop back around, though? Because I know we jumped to Kansas State and BYU. There is a certain big game at 7:30 happening in Norman, Oklahoma.
Correct.
And I believe Blake.
Yeah, jeez. It's my team, so it's off the screen.
This is your team.
Yeah, it's not really going to be a game. Tennessee's going to win by 14.
I disagree, actually.
Josh
think it's
Heupel's
going
starting
to
to
be
get
very
some
close.
moxie. Josh Heupel hates Oklahoma despite going there. He was very funny. I don't know if you saw the clip where he's like, I think they're going to be quiet while we're on the offense out of respect for me. Like, that's just hilarious. And the stuff like that's funny.
I think Oklahoma
Talk about
covers.
hype, dude. If
I think
Tennessee
Oklahoma
wins this
covers.
football
If
game,
Tennessee wins by like a field goal.
I don't listen. If Tennessee wins this football game, they are like Michigan last year in the fact that Nico hasn't played a third quarter yet. Actually, he played a little bit of third quarter against. Yeah, he hasn't played a fourth quarter yet. Nico has 4 college starts. He is winning his starts by an average of 52 points, and they're scoring 60 points a game. Mind you, they played Iowa and at NC State. Okay? 2 of the 4 games are ranked.
Yeah.
This dude is unbelievable. Okay? He's really good.
I'm going to say it. If Tennessee goes in here and wins by double digits, they should probably be the number 3 team in the country. They have an honest.
If you take season polls,
they could be number. They could honestly be number 1 if they dominate this game. They could be number 1.
Woo! I don't know.
Because they. I mean, this is a big game. This is a really big game. I would say Texas against Michigan was a big game.
Goes fast. Thank God Orgy's running the football, so my game ends fast. I can get home and watch this game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really got much since it was a bye week. We're taking a bye week from top 5.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to think of anything else.
We're pretty much all good, I would say.
Yeah.
So
yeah, not much more I can think of. So yeah,
big week.
Yeah, that's all we got. Could have some basketball coverage next week, depending on my game. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for now. I know you guys. I don't think of anything else. So
nope.
yeah.
No.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.